Hey, welcome to Zen Arbitrage tutorial. We are going to show you in this video how to use Zen Arbitrage from A to Z. And Zen Arbitrage is a tool for book arbitrage on Amazon, which we're also going to talk about. We're going to explain to you what is book arbitrage on Amazon, and we're going to show you the whole tutorial of the tool. In the description, there's going to be a link to get a free trial of Zen Arbitrage. Maybe we'll even get an extended free trial. Please check it out. It's going to be an affiliate link. And welcome to the video. With me today, Bill. He's an Amazon seller. He's also with Zen Arbitrage, and he's going to be helping us today with this tutorial. So, Bill, man, can you introduce yourself to us, man? And then we're going to jump into the content.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Bill Jakeway. I'm part of the Zen Arbitrage support team. I want to say thank you for joining us today, because I believe it shows that you have a genuine interest in your future and your freedom. I think you'll come away from this class with the knowledge to create financial stability and freedom for you and your family. But I don't want to give any false hopes. It's not going to be easy. It is a lot of work, but I think you'll look back and say to yourself, wow, this is when everything changed. So let's do it.
Yes, man. Welcome to the channel. And yeah, let's see Zen Arbitrage, like book arbitrage on Amazon. How does it work? Can you explain us as well, like what is book arbitrage? Like, I'm a private label seller. I create products, in my case in China. We brand them, we try to improve them, we ship them to Amazon FBA, to the warehouse. But what is book arbitrage? Like, how does it work?
Absolutely. So, anything having to do with arbitrage is basically you're leveraging one market to turn it into a profitable market for yourself. But our business is about using our software to find books that are selling inexpensively, then getting them through a prep center into the Amazon fulfillment centers and selling them at FBA prices. It's really for the most part, our software will scan the millions of books on Amazon, find merchant fulfilled books that are selling way low that will be profitable if you turn around and sell them on FBA. But we also, encourage people to check other markets like eBay or, some of the there's lots of book marketplaces, but our software will find them on Amazon. You just, we use the other markets to see if anybody is selling it cheaper than Amazon. So
nice, man. And then it's for physical books, right? So it's not for digital books. It's you buy like physical books in one store, you ship to a warehouse, to a prep center, then to FBA.
Correct. Yeah. So we don't do anything with ebooks or Kindle or anything like that. These are actual physical books. We do know that the most profitable books are university textbooks. So, because students, number one, they don't care if their book is used. They just, the professor says, hey, you have to have this book by Thursday. They can't wait for to go looking around in thrift stores or going around trying to find the cheapest book. They got to have it quick, and they're spending their parents' money probably. So they buy the FBA books and get it there in 2 days because the professor says they have to have it. So they're willing to pay more for an FBA book. So
fair enough, man. I understand. So physical books and Zen Arbitrage, how does it help in the process? You said it can scan books. Can we see like the tool from the inside?
Let's jump in and I'll share my screen and we'll kind of go through the process. Basically, I do a lot of training on Zen Arbitrage. I'll just go through when you first start up the Zen Arbitrage software. This is the Zen Arbitrage software. You would be setting your parameters to search the Amazon database up here. And then this would be the results down here. And then I'll go through it. You can search by publisher if you think that you want to sell a certain publisher's books, or if you have a title or a keyword, maybe like, let's say you want to sell a subject like psychology, biology, algebra, those kind of things. You would search by a title or a keyword. Or if you have books laying around your home, or if you just want to see if a book is profitable, you can search by the ISBN. Actually, when I do my very first search, and I do 3 or 4 searches a day when I sit down and look for profitable books, I don't always find, let's say I set a budget for myself that I'm going to spend $500 on books, whatever my budget is. Sometimes I find them on my first search, and sometimes I have to do multiple searches, but this is a typical first search that I look for. Because I'm trying to find as many profitable books, I don't put anything in this search box. I leave it blank, because then it doesn't, if you put in a publisher, then you're only going to get results for that publisher. If you put a keyword in, you're only going to get results for a keyword. And since Amazon has millions and millions of books online and in their database, I want to find as many profitable books in this first search, so I don't narrow it down. I want to cast as wide a net as possible. This first slider here, but there's nothing wrong if you do want to put something in the box. And Zen support, if somebody wants a list of publishers or if they want a list of textbook subjects, we have those available for resources. But, you know, in the initial search, I don't put anything there. These sliders here are to, you know, so you can pick a price range of what you want to spend. This first slider, I consider this what I'm willing to spend on a book. This is my budget per book. So I've set my budget from $5 to $75. I'm looking for books that I can buy for this amount, that if I turn around and flip them, then I can sell them for a profit. You'll see here that the results down here, they're in that range, but they don't come up in order. You don't see like $5 books first and then higher price books down here. And that's because the software will add in any shipping charges. Not, you know, when people are selling on Amazon, they don't always have free shipping. So this is a $5 book, probably with $2.18 shipping. Down here, this is a $5 book with, you know, $1.84 shipping, those kind of things. So everybody has different shipping. So these are in order of my request from $5 to $75. And as we get down here further, you'll see that some of them, they do accelerate, but they start off with these $5 books. This is what I'm willing to spend, you know, if I'm looking for a $5 book or, you know, as high as $75. And then this is what Amazon's price is if they're selling the book. When Amazon is selling the book, you know, when Amazon's on the listing, you're never going to sell a used book for more than Amazon is selling a new book. So, but if I can find a $5 book that Amazon is selling for $65, I can probably sell it for somewhere just below Amazon's price. Let's say $55. If you can find a $5 book that you can sell for $55, that's a pretty good profit range.
I understand.
So, you know, obviously Amazon doesn't sell every single book, so you'll see no offer, you know, it'll tell you when Amazon doesn't, you know, have an offer on it. But, you know, when they do have an offer, you'll see their price and you can decide if that's what you're wanting to sell it for. Because I'm looking for used books, I don't set the slider for new books. If I were looking for new books, I'd set this slider instead of the used slider. But for this first search, I'm just going to be looking for used books. So this is my used slider, what I'm willing to pay. I put Amazon's price just below my, you know, I've set this for $75. I've set Amazon's price for $65 just because I want to catch that low hanging fruit. And then over here in this drop down, you have the average rank of the books being sold. I don't generally buy books as highly ranked as 1 million, but, you know, I usually buy like in the 400, 500,000 K rank. But 1 million, the reason I set it for 1 million is because if I set it for what I truly buy for, like 500,000, if there was a great profitable book for 550K, I'd miss it because it would cut it off. So I set my rank rather high so that I can still find profitable books. And I'll show you here in a few minutes why. When we talk about book ranks, 1 million, a book that's ranked 1 million, and you got to figure that Amazon has at any given time, you know, 35, 40 million books on their database at any one time. And I know when you're talking private label, you're not competing against a whole lot of other people. As far as, you know, nobody else is selling your private label, but when it comes to books, there may be hundreds of people selling the same book on a single offer page, you know, but 1 million ranked means it sells about 1 copy every 2 to 3 days.
Interesting.
So, and we have charts that can help you understand book rank. Private label, if you were ranked 1 million, you'd probably not sell it anymore. You know, what your BSR is, you know, but with books, you know, 1 million, if you know that 1 million is going to sell 2 to 3 copies every few days, then, you know, if you can find a book that doesn't have a lot of competitors on it that's ranked 1 million, you might get some sales on that. So there's a box here that you can check to say, I only want to look at textbooks. I don't check it because remember, I'm casting as wide a net as possible. If you do put the textbooks only on, you're only going to get textbooks, but there's a lot of profitable books that aren't textbooks. I mean, there may be a leadership book or a novel or something that, that might be profitable as. So I don't, in this first search, I don't click textbooks only because I want to cast as wide a net as possible. The only other filter that I do is this slider over here on the used offers will limit how many people are selling the books that I'm looking for. And if you notice down here in this used column, there's only 13 offers on this book. There's 14 offers on this book. If there were, if I set this up really super high, let's say 150 people, when 150 people are selling a book, then everybody's fighting for pennies. And remember, you're competing against other offers when it comes to books. You're not the only listing. So when people come to look for a book on high-level biology or microbiology or something, and there's 150 people selling it, everybody's, lowering their prices a penny at a time. And it just pretty soon, that book, it's great for the consumer. They're finding a book that's really cheap, but it's not great for the seller because nobody's making any profit after a while. So I usually don't go anywhere above 50, but in this case I set it for 45. And these little drop downs, you can type in the number that you want to compete. Same thing with these over here. You can type the prices that you want. These are just settings that I use. And then once you have all your settings, you click apply filters and the page will load. And I will say that as a time saver, if you find settings that you really like, you can click save and give it a name. And the next time you come in, you can come in here and click one of your saved searches, and it will automatically set all these for you. So you don't have to sit there and type in numbers or anything like that. So once the results come back, I preloaded my page just to save time because there is a lot of information on this page. And so just to save you some time for this video, I preloaded this page. But basically, this used column is what you can buy it for on Amazon right now. And you're comparing it to the FBA price to see what you can sell it for. And if there's a gap between the two, you're looking for gaps between the two that are going to be profitable. So if I can buy a book for $7, selling it for $12, I'm not going to make any profit at all. By the time I pay my prep center, by the time I pay shipping, by the time Amazon takes their fees. So I'm looking for books that my experience says is if I can find a book here, I'm looking for the FBA price to be about 3 times higher. And the reason is because I'll double my money that way. If I can find a $10 book, I'm looking for it to sell for around 30. If I can find a $20 book, I'm looking for it to sell around 60. And that's because Amazon takes a third of, pretty much a third of anything you sell for their fees. And that leaves you, with recovering your purchase price plus getting, probably double your money back. So very quickly, all I'm looking for, I'm very quickly scanning this used price with the FBA. And I'm just looking for things that are somewhere in the 3 times price. As I scroll down, here's one that's $11. I can buy it for $11.19. And this is telling me that right now it's selling for $38.99 on FBA. So, and what I do is I will just mark it as seen right now. And I'll show you why in a few minutes. But right now, I'm just looking as quickly as possible for books that are 3 times as high. Here's another one, $13 for $39. So I'll mark it as seen. I'll go back and evaluate these books afterwards, but I'm just scanning back and forth. Here's one for $6 selling for $19. That may or may not be profitable. Here's $7 for $25. Anything that's at least 3 times higher, $13 for $49.
Bill, these on the left are books like used price on Amazon. So you buy the used book on Amazon itself and then resell it on Amazon FBA. You kind of ship it from Amazon to a warehouse, then back to Amazon of FBA, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But this price here includes the shipping to your warehouse. So, and the only thing left from the warehouse, I mean, you do pay shipping fees, into Amazon fulfillment centers. I mean, that's not free ever, but basically this is what you can buy the book and get it shipped to your prep center. This is the price you can buy it for. this is the price that you can sell it for. So you're basically just looking, like I said, and I would go through here and just keep looking back and forth, and I don't want to spend a lot of time. I'm going to show you what my next steps are. But, for the most part, I'm just going through, skipping back and forth, comparing these two columns. And then once I've done this, and I may end up with 15, 20 books. And when I'm all done looking and I've marked these as seen, I will come up here to the all results and click on my reviewed. And what it's going to do is reload this page with just the ones I've seen that I've marked as seen. Now, instead of looking at a whole page, now I've narrowed it down that sometimes I might have 20 books here. But I'm just keeping this short today. So I'm evaluating now the books that I've marked as I think they might be profitable. And the first thing that I'm going to do now is to see if Amazon is restricting me from selling any of these books. One thing with books is that publishers will tell Amazon that they want to restrict how many people sell their books. So when you first sign up, you have to apply and request permission to sell certain books. But once, you've been doing it for a while, you'll face less restrictions. So we have it built in that you can come over here and click on check restriction. It will load in Amazon's page and tell me, that if I want to sell this used, this says, yes, sell this product. So I know I'm not restricted from selling this particular book. So I can go back here, and I'll check the next one. This one comes back and it says this book is not available, which means that I'm restricted. So since I only have 5 books, clicking this little box over here would not take very much time. But if we do have an extension that you can plug in that will automatically check restrictions for you, it will highlight the books that you're restricted from, and that will save you some time. Let's say you had a whole page of 50 books that you wanted to review. It would be, instead of it's a very tedious process to have to check restrictions on each one. But let's say that I can sell all of these books. The next thing that I'm looking for, when I evaluate these books, is what do these ranks look like? And all of these are, remember I told you I like to stick between, around 400 or 500K for an average rank. But I would look at these ranks and decide if they were too high, or maybe within the Zen Arbitrage software, we have keep it charts built in. So I can hover on, the average rank and see a keep it chart pop up. And obviously this is the average rank. You can look at it and see that this particular book sells pretty well all throughout the year, and I can come here and I can see that each one of these books is selling very good all throughout the year, just, based on the rank. And, that's the advantage of looking at these average ranks. So the next thing that I would do is, if I'm like, wow, this is a really good book, can I really buy it for, $13? So I would click on the ISBN and it would hop over to the Amazon page and open up the offers. And there it is, $9.21 plus $4 shipping. That's $13.20. And then I would look and, decide if I want to add that to the cart. I can come up here and filter so that I can see if the prime, the FBA offers, the lowest FBA offer is $50 right now. So I can buy that for $13. I can turn around and put it up into Amazon and sell it for, $50. And it looks like all the FBA sellers for used are right around $50. But I can go back and I know, yeah, that's a good one. And I can come back here and check we have a built-in calculator. It automatically plugs in the used price that I'm buying it for. I know that I can sell it for $50. Let's say my prep warehouse is going to charge me $2 to prep that book, but I'm buying that book for $13, and my profit after all the fees from Amazon is $21.23. So that's on top of the cost of the book. I mean, Amazon's going to, if that book sells for $50, Amazon's going to send me my portion, my payout will be about $34, $35. And that's basically it. Identify profitable books, going through the software, comparing the used with the FBA fees, FBA prices, finding profitable books, checking to make sure you're not restricted, checking the profit, and then hopping over to Amazon. I'll go ahead and add this one to my cart. I'll, go from there. Well, actually, I want to buy the cheap one. So I see this one for $9.21. I'm going to spend $14 on this, put it in my cart. And I can also, take a look at the actual keep it chart to see, whatever other information that I'm interested in. So, and we have other things that you can use as add-ons, but this is really the software at its very, if I go back here and I look at all items, it'll reset, but it'll come back here and add in all, come back and reset all my settings. I'd have to reset my charts, but that's basically it. That's how the Zen Arbitrage software works. Understand that we have hundreds of hours of training resources. We provide everyone, not only, when you sign up, do you have access to all the resources? And I know I've thrown a lot of information at you. It can be overwhelming at first, but going through the training videos, making sure you understand everything. On top of that, we give you a full hour with one of our coaches that will spend a full hour with you, making sure that you understand how to use the software. Coaches usually will give tips on how to make it quicker and how to evaluate books. Really, the only thing you need to make money on Amazon is an Amazon seller account. There are so many ways to make money on Amazon. I mean, you do it private label. There's people that do it wholesale. We do it through arbitrage. Some people do it with retail arbitrage, going to a retail store, buying things on clearance and reselling them on Amazon. We happen to advocate for online arbitrage, finding things on the net, the interwebs that you can purchase and send into an Amazon fulfillment center and make profit. That's the great thing about our software is you don't have to go to Amazon and start looking for books. Amazon does have a search feature and you could do that, but this software you tell it what you want to spend, you tell it, all these little parameters, and then hit the apply filters button and it will come back and find profitable books that are going to fit within your budget. So people start sometimes with $200 or $300. Sometimes they start with $2,000 or $3,000. Everybody's different, but people can be successful at arbitrage, whether it's with a low budget or a higher budget.
Yeah, man. I wanted to ask you, man.
Yeah.
So we've seen the software and you mentioned also the training and support. I just see it there on the left upper side. We have training support, community, marketplace. Can you touch on the community, marketplace? Because we did touch on the training and support, tracking, account upgrade, all these parts there.
Yeah, maybe. Exactly. So the community is it'll take you directly to our Facebook private group, where you can ask questions. You can read other people's comments that are, doing this software. When people quit using the software, they'll, if they write me and say, well, I've hit tough times, I'm going to have to relinquish my subscription. It happens occasionally, they're no longer a part of the Facebook group. So the Facebook group is for those that are actively using the software, and there's about 5,000 members in there. Obviously, the training and support is where you can access the hundreds of hours of videos. The marketplace is interesting because sometimes you don't want to spend the time buying books, sending them into a prep center, or and risking your own funds. But let's say you find a profitable book. We have a marketplace where you can list that profitable book for somebody to buy your, a book that you found. They'll usually pay $1 or $2. Let's say this book that I found for, wherever it was now, but you can buy it for 11, sell it for 39, or buy it for 13, sell it for 50. For a lot of people, that don't want to spend time searching for books, they can go to the marketplace and somebody else has done the searching for them. And I could list that, I could go over here and list that book in the marketplace. And it doesn't give them the actual book. It just gives them information for somebody else to buy the lead so that they can buy the book. Tracking is for if you want to track your purchases and your listings. It's just think of it kind of like an inventory management that would allow you to keep track of the books that you purchased, how much you sold them for, and how much profit you made. It would automatically do that. And your account page is obviously if you want to buy any of the add-ons or anything like that. We do have a new tool called Zbay. It's still, I would say it's in development, so I don't want to. It's a good tool, but it's basically the same tool finding books that are selling cheap on eBay that you can flip and resell on eBay, but you'd still have to send them to a prep center if you're outside of the US. There's a lot of eBayers in America that will have those books shipped to their house, and then, they will list them on eBay and sell them. But if you're outside the States, then you would have to still use a prep center to store your books and sell them on eBay. And that's why it's not a great tool for international sellers. So
I understand, man. And Bill, so we've covered the things. I'll remind our listeners, viewers, that we have free trial of Zen Arbitrage in the description with the extended trial, actually. So check it out. And of course, drop comments if you have any questions. We'll get back to you. And I wanted to ask you, Bill, before I wrap it up, do you have a few minutes to go through the pricing of Zen Arbitrage? Like, how do people pay for it? What does it cost? Like, how does it work? Maybe we can see the pricing page, or you can just tell us about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that they do get a discounted amount cost through you. The normal price, I'll just do normal prices, and then when they see your discounted prices, they may get excited. Who knows? But the normal price for Zen Arbitrage is, and this is all in US dollars, is $97 per month. And when you sign up for a trial, you automatically get a 14-day trial. If you send us an email, say, hey, I would like an extended trial, or maybe your affiliate link automatically gives them an extended trial. I'm not sure, but we can extend that out, especially if they don't have an Amazon account yet. Some people will sign up and they don't have an Amazon account yet. So we will extend their trials so that we give them time to get their Amazon account. But $97 per month is the normal price. And then, there's different extensions that you can add on that will save you your search time. Whether you use them or not, it's not required. This is the only piece of software that you need to go forward. I will tell you that when I first started to make a decent profit, I was spending probably close to 15 to 20 hours per week doing all of my searches, paying for them, getting them shipped into the prep centers and stuff like that. Now I have fine-tuned how I do things. I probably spend less than maybe 4 to 6 hours per week. And my profit, I've made my best year to date was about 89,000 K. That's a pretty decent business.
Yes.
For some, that's like they're rich. For some, that's like, maybe I want to do something else. But we do have people that regularly gross close to 250,000 per year with just doing books. So
nice, man. Pretty cool, man. So we're gonna leave all the links in the description. And Bill, maybe something I should have asked you I didn't ask, or something we should have covered about Zen Arbitrage or book arbitrage that we didn't. What do you think? Maybe something you want to share?
The only thing that that let's see if I can. Here is our email, help@zenarbitrage.com. If you have any questions, any concerns, once you sign up, we find that the people that ask more questions, even if they sound like, this should be a simple question. Why? The more questions you ask, the more information you have. We answer your emails as quickly as possible. I have one other person working with me to answer those emails as quickly as possible. But we are here to help you. We're here. I'm not a salesman. I'll be up front. I'm not a salesman. If I'm more from customer service, I'm more for coaching. So if you ask me lots of questions, you're going to get lots of answers. And I'm pretty blunt. If you send me a book and you say, hey, Bill, I was looking at this book, I think it's profitable, I'll be honest with you and tell you whether it's profitable or not. I'll help you evaluate and help you learn. My job is not to just give you a list of books that you should buy. My job is to help you learn how to find those books on your own so that you can have your own freedom and not rely on somebody else to give you just a list of books. So
perfect, man. I understand. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. You know, I think everybody has enough information to move forward.
Awesome, man. So again, all the links are in the description. Also, I did a little review of what is an arbitrage with Regina and Yana from Carbon 6, which is Zen Arbitrage is a part of Carbon 6. So I'll leave that video in the description, maybe here on the screen. And the free trial of Zen Arbitrage extended, hopefully we'll see what the link does. So thanks everyone. Bill, thank you for explaining, man. I understood. If someone has any more questions, of course, ask. We'll get back to you. And thank you a lot, Bill, man. Thank you, viewers, listeners. Have a great day, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.